Welcome to the Wesley Show. You know, I've been thinking these days a lot about Holy Communion, and I thought that maybe this afternoon we could investigate its meaning and stuff because I'm interested in it. Really, Wesley, I had no idea that you were so interested in Holy Communion. Why? Well, it's my favorite part of church because you can like get up out of your seat and walk around and sniff and stuff and see people and also even though I am a dog, there's something there's something very special, very holy that I can tell is happening to people when they receive the wine and the bread. I can feel it. I can sense it. Well, you're right. There is something very holy going on when people receive that wine and that bread. I think we might have talked a little bit about it during Holy Week, actually, because it goes back to that supper that Jesus had, the Last Supper, with his disciples. And he took bread and he broke it and he gave it to his disciples and he said, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is given for you." And then he took the wine and he blessed it and he gave it to them. And he said, "This is my blood of the new covenant." And what he meant by that, or at least part of what he meant by that, was that it was his promise to be with them and with us in those two things. We call it consecrated, specially set aside and blessed, the bread and body of Jesus. And when we receive that at the communion rail, we believe and we even know in a kind of way that Jesus is present with us in a highly unusual way, a very special way. Well, I know it's been hard, for people because they haven't been able to have communion, because of the coronavirus. And, it's been tough. So they miss it. And I'm just wondering, can we just do it at home, just like have our own? Well, I have to say, I'm very glad that you want to have it at home. And I know there have been people who, out of a deep love of Jesus, have probably celebrated their own at home in these unusual times. But actually, the view of the church is that communion is so special that they only want particular people who have been assigned and trained and prayed for constantly to be giving communion, to be consecrating, to be saying those words. And I know it does sound a little strange, but maybe if we thought about it this way, if you broke your leg, Wesley, and you needed to have surgery, and you just found somebody on the street, would you give them a scalpel and say, "Hey, operate on my leg"? Well, no. I mean, certainly not. I mean, a scalpel is a dangerous piece of equipment, and I would only entrust it into very trained hands, a veterinarian, a surgical veterinarian who knew what they were doing. I wouldn't want any old person doing that. Well, that's actually what the church has believed about the bread and the wine, that it is that special, and that they just want to entrust that, we call it an office, to those that the church itself has discerned as a body. These are people who understand what this is and who really stand in Jesus' place and say, in Jesus' words, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is given for you." It's a big responsibility to say those words of Jesus. And the church wants to make sure that we really understand what's going on as best we can as humans, what's going on. Well, I got to say that's kind of a different, slant on the whole thing than I'd really, thought of before. But does that just mean that people just won't have communion for forever, just like we won't have it. Well, first of all, Wesley, it's not going to be forever. We will get back together and we will have communion again. But in the meantime, there's another thing that I've been seeing online that particularly families have been doing. It's another feast that remembers Jesus, and it's in the Bible. It's called the Agape Feast. Agape is just a Greek word for love. And people can take on different roles in the feast and celebrate the presence of Jesus together. And you don't need a priest. I think actually we're going to have some information about it up on our website at St. George's. Well, that sounds interesting. I still have to say, though, I'm going to miss it, communion, until we get back together again. Well, so will I. But there's something even in that, because it makes us realize that not only is it a gift that Jesus gave his life for us, but it's a gift that he gave us this special way to be with him and with each other. And in missing it, we know how much we really value it.